Hello, everyone, and welcome to our universe.
The CayVin Universe.
Oh, yes, we're your host. I'm Vinny.
And I'm Caylin.
As always, you can follow us at the CayVin Universe on Instagram and YouTube.
And you can email us your questions, comments, and suggestions to the CayVinUniverse@gmail.com.
Oh, God, what a great way to reintroduce ourselves, is fumbling through the introduction.
Yeah.
We were laughing so much because we just couldn't, for some reason, we just couldn't start this podcast.
No.
It just, I don't know.
Maybe we're both hungry.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
What that has to do with anything.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you for joining us for the, 5 people that'll be joining us this episode. Thank you very much. We appreciate it, whether it's 5 or whether it's 100 or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. If you've been with us from the start, from our pilot episode or episode number 1 on our the ones you can get on the actual podcast app, if you've been with us that long, thank you so much. That's freaking awesome. That's literally.
I wish I knew who.
Yeah, exactly. There's been, since day one, we've had, a good amount of views.
Yeah.
We're just starting out, so we're not going to get a ton at first, but
yeah,
there have been some significant, because you can track the analytics, and there have been a number of people that we've retained since episode 1. So
yeah,
that's pretty awesome. Yeah. So thank you for joining us. But we wanted to do something where we kind of reintroduced ourselves because of the fact that now we have full video on YouTube.
Yeah.
That might cause us problems down the line.
Why?
I don't know, if we ever try to well, I don't know. I feel like people, maybe if they want to look at our older episodes, are going to be like, why isn't there a video episodes before episode 33? And we'll be like, well, I didn't have it down by then.
Yeah, I mean,
that's basically all it was.
Yeah, that's it.
I had a base.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and that's for anybody. I don't think podcasting is a competition. I think podcasting is you yourself are the personality. We are the personality. We are the show. We're going to put ourselves out there, and there's going to be people that like us and agree with us, and they'll watch us, and that's awesome. Yeah. But then there's going to be people that don't like us or don't agree with us, and they're not going to watch us. But there's plenty other podcasts out there. So that's essentially what I think podcasting is.
Yeah.
You're just putting yourself out there in the world, and essentially you're looking for friends, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People that agree with you, people that are going to like the same things you like. But there could be times even where somebody that likes you and agrees with you on a lot of stuff, they can disagree with you on a lot of other stuff too. Then that's perfectly fine. Just because you disagree with someone doesn't mean you have to not like them. Yeah. I have lots of friends that, I've disagreed with, and I've still been friends with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I use the term past tense because nowadays, keep the circle small.
Yeah.
But, no, so I'm going to go ahead and stop talking. I'm going to let you start. Let's go ahead and, reintroduce ourselves.
Yeah. Something I've been into my whole life, sleeping. That's my thing.
That's great.
I know.
Oh, same.
And I don't know. I mean, if anybody's listened to this podcast since the beginning, you'd know that I kind of have my obsession with The Office. So that's really, something I would definitely say is a big thing about me, because I've devoted so much time, into doing one thing. So, but other than that, I don't know. I just like to stay busy. I like working, and I like, but sometimes I like chilling my thing too.
Yeah. No, same.
Yeah. But there's not really much anything, else interesting really about me.
I think there's lots of things interesting about you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, and that's another thing.
Good.
We have been a couple of 3 years.
Yeah. Almost 4.
Yeah, almost 4 years actually. Mm-hmm. Just recently moved in together. That's when we decided to start this podcast together after been wanting us.
We've been talking about it.
Yeah, after we've been wanting to do it for such a long time. And then if you follow the clip channel, our YouTube clip channel, you can see there's videos on that clip channel from 4 or 5 years ago at this point. I did used to do things on YouTube. Yeah. I used to do supplement review videos when I was really into the whole fitness thing. I mean, I am now. I'm a personal trainer, but I mean, I have my own interest in things other than fitness, and that's kind of another reason why I want to start this podcast. And why this podcast is going to be so different is because I didn't want to get attached to a certain theme, and I think I've always been that way throughout my life growing up. Mm-hmm. I never wanted to be attached to a certain clique or a certain group. I wanted to be universal, mm-hmm. No pun intended. But and I think that's why I want this podcast and wanted to be set up the way it's set up, and I always thought I wanted to do a podcast, but how to do it. I'm not going to do a podcast where I'm just sitting there talking about myself, and then I could just never find.
We all know one of those.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that too, but then that could get a little, speed it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I wasn't gonna do a podcast. I didn't have. I don't have a type of friend that I'm that close to do a podcast with and to trust to, do a podcast with, and that they're going to do everything, that we're supposed to do and show up on time and things like that. And I say all that because at the time we weren't even living in the same city. We were, long distance for a year. So when you moved over here and we moved in together, we started talking about that. And I was like, that's so perfect. Like, I love how we're so similar, but so different. And I think that's just what's going to be the beauty of this podcast. You know what I mean?
And you have no idea how many times, like previously, whenever we were long distance, we would visit each other a lot. And, at the time he's living at, his brother's house, and his brother's has this nice backyard, right? Mm-hmm. And I still remember like the conversations we would have when I'd be over there, with you, spending time with you. Yeah. And like literally we'd go on for like however long. And then at the end of it, you and I are either like, this is why we need a podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember having those moments. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, there's relationships can be in many forms, but I definitely love the part of our relationship where we can get lost in conversation about anything. And that's the thing. It doesn't have to be a certain topic. And like, I'm the type of person where there's no filter between my brain and my mouth. And it tends to come out a lot, just especially with you, because I trust you 100%, 110% with everything. Yeah. So whatever, I could be sitting on the couch thinking a random thought, and I just start blathering and talking to you about it, and you just sit there and you listen. Yeah. And that's the best part, And then if you have a thought, same thing. You spit it out and tell me, and then I listen to it. So
like, what did I say a couple nights ago? I was like, I guess I was hungry. It was in the middle of the night, and I was like, can we buy our own Chick-fil-A? And you're like, why? And I said, so we can have Chick-fil-A whenever we want.
Yeah. I was like, what are you talking about? That's awesome.
And you were like, well, if we're rich, we could just buy Chick-fil-A whenever we want.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need a whole Chick-fil-A. That's too much,
Yeah, all the work. Gosh. But yeah, just weird things like that come to my mind.
Is that on your bucket list?
Yeah, maybe.
I wonder how much it costs to franchise a Chick-fil-A.
I think it's only like $10,000.
No, really? $10,000 to franchise a Chick-fil-A? I
think.
Really?
Yeah, my brothers. Well, my brothers work at Chick-fil-A, and I'm pretty sure that's what they've told me.
Let me see. That can't be, because then everyone would have a freaking Chick-fil-A. How much does it cost?
Well, when you put it that way, it does sound like a little bit.
Yeah, if it was $10,000, literally everybody would be, when they're 16, look, instead of telling their parents to buy them a car, they'd buy a Chick-fil-A.
Look, I told you.
No, there's no. What? 10,000 to open up a Chick-fil-A?
I told you.
What? Would you open up a Chick-fil-A? Like, if you're 16 and your parents said, we can buy you something for, or let's say 18, because I don't really think people should drive until they're 18. But at least 18. But your parents say, for 18th birthday, we can buy you a car, or we can buy you a Chick-fil-A. What would you say? Because a car is about what, 10,000. You can buy a cheap, decent car. Yeah. I'm all for modest living. Yeah. What would you choose?
Well, between those two, I would definitely choose the car.
Really?
Yeah.
You wouldn't choose a Chick-fil-A? That's literally your dream, to have a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, but how would I get to the Chick-fil-A?
Well, you can just take the bus for a few months or a year, and then you'll have enough by the profit you make from your own Chick-fil-A. God, this podcast really derailed.
No, I've never been on a city bus. That's what I was thinking about.
Mm-hmm. It's not so bad. A lot of homeless people, but I told you about that one guy. Right? That my homeless friend that I met on the bus that one time, and he was like talking to me about music, and he was putting.
Oh, I think I do know.
Yeah, he was drinking beer at the bus stop, and then right before the bus came, he's like, "Oh," because he had this tall beer, and he's like, "Oh, the bus is coming." He's like, "Gotta hurry," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he just starts fucking chugging. It's like 3 PM. I'm getting off of work, and I'm going home, and the sun is just beating down. It's super hot, and this guy's just chugging this beer in the dead middle of the sun in Texas heat. And I was just like, well, I don't know, just the thought of
grossed
heat,
you out.
just like, yeah, the thought of heat and beer.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, and then he was so anyway, he was listening to like a Walkman. He, you know, this was 2013, 2014, so he's listening to a Walkman, and I guess he just had the radio on, but he's jamming out. And I guess I had long hair at that time, like I do now. And he was, you know, he associated with me that, so like rock music and things like that. So he started talking to me about rock music, and you know, I knew what he was talking about, so I was talking back. But it kind of got really uncomfortable when this guy, I don't know where he's been, never seen him before in my life, never saw him after.
Oh my God, wait, I know this story.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
When he started, he's jamming out, and he would take it off, and he would put it on my ears, and he's like, listen to this, and I'm just like, so after the third time of him doing that, the next stop I got off, and it was like 3 blocks to where I was supposed to get off.
So
and
your ass just walked.
I just walked the rest of the way. I was like, fuck this. I never saw him again.
I swear to God, if somebody ever did that to me, oh God.
Yeah.
I don't even want to think about that.
They're wet. These headphones are wet.
All this fucking sweat from the past 2 weeks. 2 months. Oh my God, that was bad.
If you're joining us for the first time, if you haven't gotten off by now, this is basically
I'm grossed out.
Yeah, this is basically just like any other podcast. This is what this is about, just random things that we want to talk about. We have certain topics, you know, in the description, things about entertainment, TV, music, pro wrestling, conspiracies, our crazy facts that we do every month, our games of the month, movies of the month. The original title of this episode was going to be us reintroducing ourselves, but that's kind of been derailed at the moment. So
yeah, I said a little bit. You can say a little bit.
Well, of course, I'm into Dragon Ball Z. Into other various animes, but I don't know. I'm weird when it comes to animes because to me, nothing tops Dragon Ball Z. But like
the Death Note.
Yeah, I was about to say nothing tops Dragon Ball Z on like a Dragon Ball Z level, because Dragon Ball Z level would be things like One Piece, Naruto, and things like that. I've never gotten into that. It's like I like certain things for certain categories. Yeah. You know, Dragon Ball Z is kind of my Americanized anime, but yeah, there are other animes that like the gory animes. Death Note is good. The live action movie wasn't as bad as people made it out to be.
I liked it.
I liked it if it was a separate thing, if it wasn't supposed to be based on the anime. If you base it on the anime, yeah, it kind of sucks. But separately as its own movie, I think it was all right. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
But Kami Got Kill, that's another really good anime. That's a gory anime. That's one of those animes that
was that the one you were showing me the videos of that day?
No, that was World God Eater. I think that was called God Eater.
God Eater, yeah. That sounds...
Attack on Titans is super cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We should watch that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I said Dragon Ball Z is my Americanized anime, but I would say Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's another good Americanized kind of anime. It's kind of anime, but it's really not. But it is. Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things. It's weird.
I can see how it could be both.
Yeah. Because it was on Nickelodeon too, so yeah. I guess that's why a lot of people don't take it seriously as an anime. But if you watch it, it's fucking good. Yeah. It's so good. But yeah, so I'm into other various forms of anime. Of course, gaming. Of course, I grew up watching pro wrestling, so I still am a pro wrestling fan. Like I've said before on this podcast, yes, I know it's fake. Everything's fake. Everything on TV's fake. Every TV show's fake. Obviously, it's a great TV show. I always say it's like a TV show where the performers are basically their own stuntmen and actors and etc. But anyway, I'm not going to get on to all that. Yeah. If you want to change my mind. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So yeah, what else do you want to talk about?
Don't you have those you were telling me about some UFO sighting. I haven't heard anything of it, so you need to tell me about it.
Well, I hate to break it to people, but let's see here. Yeah, everyone has been talking about this UFO sighting. Please don't play this fucking video. This website is just doing whatever it wants to do. This 9 News, fuck them. But we're still gonna use your public content. So UFO sighting in New Jersey was actually just a Goodyear blimp. Literally, I saw the video earlier where literally cars were pulled over. There was tons of people on the road with their cameras out. That's a UFO. That's a UFO. That's a UFO. And yeah, so you saw these things floating in the sky, just floating, and everyone's like, that's a UFO. And they were like, literally, there was people trying to stop traffic, like, hey, pull over, look. Like, so
because they're thinking this is once in a lifetime.
I knew right away. I knew within, like, this is like, I don't know. I knew right away. Within 2 seconds, look at it, I was like, it's not a UFO. That's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I thought what it wasn't even the blimp. The blimp perfectly explains it. But, like, I thought it was just a drone a beefed up drone that somebody, was fucking with people. They just added to make it look like a UFO.
Yeah.
But once your brain connects that it was a Goodyear blimp and you look at the video again, you're like, oh, yeah, totally. That's a Goodyear blimp because you can see it.
I have a funny question.
Yeah.
What's the point of a Goodyear blimp?
Just advertisement because it was floating around for the football game.
Oh.
Some New Jersey residents thought they had captured footage of a real-life UFO on Monday night. Turned out it was just a Goodyear blimp. Several videos went viral on TikTok and Twitter featuring the UFO that was hovering over part of New Jersey and seemed to be glowing. The video showed many people had even pulled over onto the side of the highway to try to catch a glimpse of what they thought was a supernatural sighting from beyond Earth. Oh, great wording. Oh wow. So yeah, this person just became TikTok famous just on a stupid video. Jesus.
They were trying to get a glimpse.
Yeah.
A glimpse of the blimp.
That's funny. From this angle, it looks more metal, but yeah, I can see how it looks like a blimp. That's so funny.
What the fuck?
That's hilarious. Oh, I should have been recording this. Fuck. I forgot to record the screen. Okay, so here's my part.
Save that picture.
I know. Yeah, I'll go into that. But
of course, any freaking story that has to do with the possible UFO
because of
sighting
that one.
Will always come back to this one.
But that's the thing that confuses me, or the other thing that tells me like that yes, there is a such thing as UFOs, because there's always going to be these false UFOs.
Yeah.
There's going to be like that with everything. But in one day they explained it. Boom, it was a Goodyear blimp. It wasn't a UFO. They still have yet to explain
this one.
This video, or yeah, they still have yet to explain this one right here.
Yeah.
So,
why?
What was that?
Yeah.
It just, people want to believe is the problem. People want to believe that, every time they see something in the sky, oh, UFO in place, or plus the way 2020 is going right now, why wouldn't there be UFOs?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, but we are going to go more into UFO conspiracies in a later episode. But
yeah.
I mean, I believe him. But the reason why I said that this was, I knew right away, is because there was a flashing light. If you really want to get into UFOs, look up the Joe Rogan, Bob Lazar interview. That would just blow you away. And one thing Bob Lazar says is, okay, so if it was aliens and it traveled through time and space, why the fuck would it have a blinking light on it? You know what I mean? There wouldn't be no need for that. And if there was that, it'd probably get blown away in space, or, blasted off or whatever from the speed. And I'm not Neil deGrasse Tyson. I can't explain that. But basically, the main thing Bob Lazar said is, like, there's no squares on UFOs. It's like there's no nuts, there's no bolts, there's nothing where you can see it's welded, or there's nothing where you can see parts are connected. It's just like a mold. Like if you took hot wax, and you made a mold of a spaceship, that's how it looked. There's no edges. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
There's no edges on it. It's just smooth like a disc, and a lot of them are made different ways because of that. Like they are melted and smoothed into a shape.
Jeez.
So there wouldn't be a light, and there's not even windows on it, but there's a type of material that it's basically acts like a metal, but with a certain light, or with a certain, I don't know, force, you can see through it. It's basically like the shower glass, but stronger.
Jesus.
Yeah. So that was, if they're going to come to this planet and have a craft to do so, it's going to be well beyond any material we have here.
Yeah.
It's not just going to be typical windshield and
bolts
wheels and bolts. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's super smoothed over. So
Jesus.
yeah, I don't know, it's crazy.
So much more advanced.
Yeah, exactly. So Who knows? Who knows? Do you have another story?
The only UFO I believe in is Cosmo over here.
Cosmo. So
Cosmo is as real as ever.
We caught Cosmo in a UFO.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's our friend that came.
He landed in the front yard.
Yep.
And we took him in like E.T.
E.T.
Yeah, he does that sometimes in the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night, we'll look over and his hand will just be like that.
He's like,
yeah.
Trying to channel his brothers and sisters. He's like, I'm over here.
Oh, gosh.
And he's already claimed my Dundee.
Yeah.
Cosmo's going to be playing in the next round of Obvious Trivia.
He's got all the knowledge.
Yeah. Better than me.
So, speaking of UFOs and space and stuff, we were just talking about this the other episode about Venus and my theory about life. Well, turns out it wasn't my theory. Turns out other people have this theory, which kind of made me excited because I was like, oh, yes. Can you go ahead and read this? Wait, hold on.
Scientists say they've detected a gas in the clouds of Venus that on Earth is produced by microbial life. The researchers have racked their brains trying to understand why this toxic gas, phosphine, is there in such quantities, but they can't think of any geologic or chemical explanation.
The mystery raises the astonishing possibility that Venus, the planet that comes closest to Earth, as it's let me see, it's word as it what is it whizzes around the sun. Whizzes. That's just a funny word. Wow. It's like when you see some words, you're like, "Fuck."
Yeah,
like, that's
a word.
That's a word. Yeah. Well, somebody literally said like, "Hey,
what does the sun do? It whizzes
shit.
Around the Earth."
Oh gosh, whizzes around the sun might have some kind of light flourishing more than 30 miles up in its yellow hazy clouds. Nothing could live on what passes for land on Venus. Its smooth volcanic plains are a scorching hellscape, hot enough to melt lead, which temperatures exceed 800 degrees Fahrenheit. High in the clouds, however, the pressures and temperatures and acidity levels would be less intense, though still vile. Yeah, so it's basically saying that in many ways Venus is similar to Earth. So they think has it gotten to the part where they say what it is?
No.
Because they said it was alien microbes.
Yeah.
Anxiety. So this is why phones are eventually just gonna be
take over
superior, because if I go on fucking Instagram, I can find a news article that literally
just keeps it simple.
Yeah, that keeps it simple and covers everything.
The fucking point.
Yeah, exactly. But the only problem about Instagram, I got multiple accounts, so I gotta like get on this account now. Okay, so life on Venus. Scientists have detected phosphorine gas in the clouds of Venus, a potential sign of alien life. Small amounts of phosphorine gas have been detected in the clouds of Venus, scientists announced in a new report published in Nature Astronomy. The gas is a potential sign of alien life on the planet. On Earth, the toxic gas is produced by microbes. As crazy as it sounds, as crazy as it sounds, our most plausible explanation is life. Clara Sana Silvia, one of the reporters of authors, told Marina Kren, a reporter for The Atlantic. So basically, these alien microbes is what could be causing that gas on Venus. Basically, it could be either them dying or them fucking farting. Oh. But yeah, there's a life on Venus that's the only explanation for that gas on that planet would be that there's life creating that gas.
That is, well,
they edited it. I guess that's a bad thing about this. Yeah. They edited it, but it said basically how that was a theory before, that because Earth and Venus are so alike, it's called the sister planet, that possibly there could have been life on Venus once before. So basically backing my theory.
On what you said.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it said in that article, but that article was fucking 100-page essay. So
100-page.
Yeah, I don't
like
know what the
500.
fuck. Yeah, I don't know. What else are we gonna talk about?
I don't know. Like I tried to say before, I'm not very interesting.
You're very interesting. What are you talking about? You're very interesting. Oh, it's another thing too. Did you hear about the Joe Rogan wanting to? Joe Rogan wanted to do the debate between Trump and Biden.
Yes, yes. I saw something about that. Joe Rogan posted it that Donald Trump said it, right?
Yeah. So okay. So Joe Rogan had Tim Kennedy on.
Yeah.
But Joe Rogan said he wants to moderate a 4-hour presidential debate. President Trump accept Rogan's offer. I mean, I mean, the possibility of this happening is kind of slim, but it would be
really
very. I mean, who knows? With the way 2020 is and the way we have Donald Trump as our president, it could. You know, the reason why I said it's slim is because it's something like this has never happened before.
Yeah.
When have you ever had who's some of the old, late night hosts? When have you had God, what's his
Jimmy
name?
Fallon.
Yeah, not well, God, if I said old and you said Jimmy Fallon, that shows how young you are. God,
I
what's his
didn't hear
name?
the part where you said old.
The one that
Jay Leno.
Jay Leno was one of them, but even before Jay Leno, what's his name? He's that's all he's known for. I forgot. But like
Anderson Cooper.
Anderson Cooper, he was a host?
No, I think he's just on the news. I think he's like on CNN or something.
Oh, okay.
Like he has his own news thing, like Nancy Drew.
Oh yeah, stuff like that. Okay, so
Dr. Drew?
Dr. Drew, I guess you could say that. I mean, okay, Dr. Phil. Let's say that.
Oh,
Let's say Dr. Phil. That's a great
duh.
example. Dr. Phil or even Oprah. Let's use one of those.
Yeah.
Whenever you ever had a situation where Dr. Phil sat in a room with the presidential candidates and literally just moderated the debate, or Oprah moderating the debate. That's like never. That's like never before. That's what I mean. That's it's never happened.
Somebody more well known than Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. If anything, like Joe Rogan's huge.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. It's just the fact that he's literally on fire right now.
Yeah.
He's freaking. Spotify deal is podcast. As soon as he uploads them, he's getting 1 million views. I mean, he's the best. And the thing is too is because he gets the best guests on.
Oh,
you know, how many times do we, get on YouTube and see our subscriptions?
Miley Cyrus recently.
Yeah. And that's like the coolest thing. And I'm sure a lot of people get that when they go on YouTube and they see he has a guest. He doesn't really like announce like I'm gonna have this person, I'm this person. So when it just pops up, you see him, you're like, oh my God, like that's so cool. Like the Post Malone, I was like, holy shit, he's got Post Malone. Like I gotta watch that.
That's so cool.
And I think that works to his advantage.
Yeah.
But yeah, so can you imagine?
No, I can't. Now I can't. Now I think the odds are slim.
Yeah. So basically, Tim Kennedy tweeted, he put, on my podcast with Joe Rogan, he offered to moderate a debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. It would be 4 hours with no live audience, just the two candidates' cameras and their vision on how to move this country forward. Who wants this? And then Donald Trump retweeted and put, I do! !
Dang.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That would be that'd be great.
Yeah, that'd
be great because Joe Rogan would be unbiased, no bullshit, and
you need people like that.
Speaking of Joe Rogan, I mean, I agree with him. You put 4 hours in a debate like that to that caliber, Joe Biden don't stand a chance. Shit. I'm not saying I'm for Trump. I'm not saying I'm for Biden. I don't know what the fuck, I don't know what tomorrow holds. Yeah. So I don't even know about this election. I don't want to know about November exactly. 4th. I can't even tell you what I'm gonna do tomorrow. What tomorrow holds for me or us or anybody. Yeah. So don't even ask me about that. So, but if we're just talking straight up, debate, what is it, promo match? Yeah. Joe Biden don't stand a chance. Damn. Well, we'll see. God, and I would love to see even Trump. I bet Joe Rogan will do the face of Trump, but I would love to see that Joe Rogan face like that. What the fuck? Like, what are you talking about? I would love to see him do that to these guys. Oh wow! Like, you should have an office camera shot where it just like pans to him and zooms in on his face, and he's like what? Anytime they say something stupid, which would probably be, half of the 4 hours. Anyway, I don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Earlier when you brought up Dr. Phil, when I started laughing, is because I saw a video. He has a TikTok account, and a video of his popped up on the trending page or whatever, and it was him recording himself, and he's like, "You guys have got to stop commenting 'daddy' on my videos."
Oh my gosh!
He was like basically saying it was like uncomfortable for him, and that people just have to stop calling him daddy.
They're calling Dr. Phil daddy. Oh my God.
Poor guy.
Oh, poor guy. That's funny.
Yeah.
Dr. Phil daddy.
Have you ever heard any conspiracy? I mean, I don't know if you would call it a conspiracy, but of like when he has guests on his show that like after they're on his show, suddenly they're like famous. Have you ever
Dr.
noticed
Phil?
like that? Yeah.
Why? Because they suck him off and he makes them famous?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he would do that to Robin.
Okay. And I didn't think Ellen was a bitch. I didn't think she really didn't like to dance.
Who?
Ellen.
Oh.
I saw that. Oh God, what podcast was that? I don't know. I think it was Andrew Schultz, but I saw that on somebody's podcast where they're like, I knew Ellen was a bitch whenever I saw her at a wedding, and she was just sitting there and she wasn't dancing the whole time.
It was probably Andrew Schultz.
Yeah, like the whole wedding she didn't dance. That's how I knew. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna have an episode soon we're gonna have a podception episode coming soon about our favorite podcast.
Yeah.
A podcast talking about podcasts.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
What would you say is your current favorite?
Joe Rogan.
It's always Joe Rogan, right?
Or Bad Friends. You? Bad Friends is really good.
Yeah.
Shout out Bad Friends. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Bad Friends.
Yeah.
But my next one would probably be honestly, just because I like not like so much of like how cringy they are, but of how like much I laugh when I've been watching the Theo Vons this past weekend.
His new episodes with his new I don't know what
Riley.
he is, his assistant or something. Riley. Like what?
I just crack up. Like I don't know why. Like anytime he opens his mouth,
it's perfect. Honestly, it's like that. It's like the Office humor, where it's so awkward, and they're literally that's a live Michael Scott and like a live Ryan.
Yes, so cringy.
Because it's like that's not a bit. That's literally Theo, and that's literally this Riley kid.
Yes.
And it's like they're so awkward, yet they match so perfect.
I know. I don't know. I guess
it's like that cringiness that just makes you laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, that's the best. That's the best.
Oh man, we definitely need to have that podception video soon.
Yeah.
Because I'm like already wanting to talk about funny parts, but I could be saying that in an episode, you know.
Yeah. Well, guys, this was our first episode that we literally just winged it.
We did not.
We literally didn't prepare anything.
No.
We just winged it.
I usually, right? I even was like, here, put my notebooks aside.
Yeah.
Because I usually have like something in front of me, but.
Yeah, right before we started, you were like, here, and I was like, you don't want these? You're like, no.
Like, no, I don't need them today.
Yeah, I had a few notes, but yeah, I mean, this was like when I looked on our calendar, because we do have a calendar. We are taking this seriously, people.
Yeah.
We do have a calendar. Well, now we have episodes filled up all the way to the end of December, practically.
Yeah.
You know, of course, if we ever get guests, who knows? Maybe not. But if we ever do, they would take. Hopefully, those would take up most of our episodes. But you know, in the meantime, I just love these episodes where just me and you. We just bullshit. We just talk about whatever we want to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, there's sometimes when when I was making the schedule of our podcast, and I'd be like, "What do you think about doing an episode about this?" And you're like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Cool." Oh man, that's why I love podcasts. And it's like,
yeah.
Oh, and earlier I was talking about it, and I didn't finish my point, but it's like there's no such thing as competition when it comes to podcasts. It's like I believe if you can, you know, want to put in the work, because I think it is work, and you do have to learn a lot to do a podcast. But if you want to put in the work to do a podcast, do a podcast. I mean, put yourself out there. It's freaking awesome. It's awesome to have this type of platform. It's awesome to have this type of control with what we can do and what we can say. It's just, you know, and it's just like, it's always like a hangout with us.
Oh, yeah.
So it's great. So, yeah, there you go. That was an episode of us just BSing. So if you made it this far, thank you so much. You are the real MVP. Caylin, what else do you have to say?
Rock and roll.
There you go.
Michael Scott.
Right. All right, guys. Well, peace and love, everyone. And you will hear from us soon.
Bye, guys.